welcome back. So today we're going to be learning how to play the Shoals of Herring. So it's a 3/4 march. You'll see the music scrolling across the top of the screen. This is played at 80 beats per minute, but you can slow it down with the slider and see exactly how the fingering looks at a slower speed if you need to. 1, 2. Right, when you're playing this tune, there's a couple of key things to remember. There's quite a few of these long pulsed notes on the first beat. So if you look at the first bar, for example, and I'll put it up for you, you've got a low A and a C in the first grouping. The low A is a dotted quaver, and the C is a semiquaver. So the ratio of that is actually 3:1. So the low A is 3 times as long as the C is. And this comes through in a number of places in the tune. Bar 1, bar 5 is very much the same. And you'll also see it playing out in bar 7. It'll go from A to C again. And then the last bar in the first part, which is bar 8, got a long D throw, 3 times the length of the C following down to the B doubling. Okay, so in the second part, the same applies. So let me play that for you. I'll play it for you the way it should be played and in the way that typically is played when not paying too much attention to it. So the correct way is basically as follows. Okay, that's really slow. Right, so if you're struggling to get that C really short and the A really long, slow it down until you get the ratio right. If you're playing it incorrectly, it's going to sound flatter, something like this. Right, and a lot of people, especially when you're learning, will tend to do that because it's harder to actually play that C nice and snappy. So you tend to jump off the low A. And in many of those bars that I just mentioned, you'll have the same problem. If you look at the last bar, bar 8 in part 1, something like this. Okay, and you might be going, right, as opposed to dee da 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 dum. Okay, and then in the second part, first bar of the second part, so bar 9 on the music, it's got a nice long high A, and you've got to cut this little high G coming down to the F. Once again, the ratio is 3:1. So this is how it should sound. And again, nice and slow. So if you're struggling, just slow it down a bit. If you're playing it incorrectly, it'll sound like this. Right, it sounds very flat, and you can hear that the ratio is more even there as opposed to being more on the side of 3:1. So it's hold, cut into the next note. Okay, and so that comes through quite a few times in this tune, so just watch out for that. If you're playing those ratios correctly, it's going to sound a lot more expressed, and it'll have a nice musical feel to it. Enjoy.